What if I told you that the everyday utensil you use without thinking was once seen as strange, sinful, even an insult to God? There was a time when picking up a fork could get you mocked, shamed, or even accused of offending heaven itself. This is a surprising story of how the fork went from devil's tool to the most ordinary thing in our dining table. The story doesn't start in Europe, it begins in the ancient world. People in Egypt and Byzantium had two prolonged tools, but mostly for cooking or served, not eating. That all changed in the 11th century when a Byzantine princess, Maria Agrippina, arrived in Venice to marry at her wedding feast. She used tiny golden forks. The Venetians were horrified. Clergy called it wasteful and sinful, arguing that God already had given people fingers. When Maria died of plague not long after, many said it was divine punishment for daring to eat with a fork. Even after this scandal, forks had a hard time in Europe. In the 16th century, Catherine de' Medici tried to make them fashionable in France, but most people resisted. In England, things got even worse. In 1608, a traveler named Thomas Coryat returned from Italy proudly using fork. Instead of admiration, he got endless ridiculous. People nicknamed him Fusifier, the fork's bearer. Too many eating with the forks look weak, feminine, even laughable. Real men, they claimed, they use their knives or their bare hands. So how did the forks finally win? It wasn't one moment. It was several small shifts that built up over time. Manners began to matter more. Greasy fingers at the table felt less acceptable. People cared more about cleanliness even before germs were understood. New foods also helped. Saucier dishes, delicate pastries, and tricky things like peas were just too messy without a fork. At first, forks were a sign of wealth crafted from silver or gold, but with the Industrial Revolution, mass-produced forks became cheap and available to everyone. By the 18th and 19th centuries, the fork's victory was complete. It wasn't just a tool anymore, it was a symbol of good manners, refinements, and modern living. The so-called devil's tools had quietly reshaped how we eat, how we behave at the table, and even how we think about cleanliness. Today, we don't give it a second thought, but its history shows how even the most ordinary objects can carry centuries of dramas and change. So next time you pick up a fork, remember its long, strange journey from a scandalous luxury to even everyday essential. A small utensil that started a silent revolution in our plates.